How's it
Welcome.
going, everybody? My name's me.
Markiplier.
That's not your name, you sussy bucker.
No, what? No, I'm not a sussy bucker.
He's
You're so sussy.
Markiplier. Kill him.
Is that divided 57?
Why does everyone look like Markiplier?
Alright, well, this is. I don't even know what episode this is, but this is the KAPPA cast, if you weren't aware by the title. And this isn't just any episode.
You're assuming our viewers can read.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's entirely possible that they can't read.
Ooh.
But today is a solemn occasion because. Well, why don't you just tell them, Jeremy?
Well, I have a confession. You're gay, Jonesy.
Yeah, it was hard for me
Damn.
to accept at first, but when Jeremy told me I was gay, it just felt right, and so I thought I'd take this opportunity to reveal that. Now that I've learned it from Jeremy,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a moment. No, for real.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I made my chips.
It's all good. No, for real though, right?
Dough?
Jeremy, what is good in the hood?
I am not doing the Kappa cast anymore after this
Whoa.
because I hate the fans. It's because of the fans. Fuck
the
you.
fans.
All like 3 of you.
Hey, some episodes get over 100 views, you know.
Okay. Well, fuck you all. I hate you, and that's why I'm leaving it, because of the toxic fan base.
The absolutely toxic fan base.
Yes.
I know that too well.
From like the 2 comments we get on each video, one of them usually being from Jonesy himself.
Yeah. It's usually just my little brother saying L ratio, then me responding cope. But yeah, this is, apart from Jeremy leaving, this would probably just be a normal episode where we go through questions of the day from the server, which you can join in the description.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Hell yeah,
Let's go.
very shameless. Also,
Not like he's profiting from it though.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Maybe we'll get a Patreon or something. Get
Bro,
Yeah,
these-
to
Yeah,
jo-
whooping
yeah, in the
Sign up
future
to
you'll
our-
need a Patreon to join this Discord.
Sign up to our OnlyFans Kappa cast.
Yeah, they cap
Where we-
fans.
Kappa cast, but it's like Kappa ASST. It's just
Anyway, smash like, smash sub. Turn
Wait, that's usually-
notifications on.
That's usually at the end of the video.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Yeah,
usually
we can't be near the end of the video right now.
No, this is the start, mate.
Well,
just
you already said
reminding them to smash like and
Yeah.
hit subscribe.
Yes.
That shit, bro.
you're reminding them, not telling them to.
No, it's.
I
in
mean,
order.
we are forcing them. Like, we
At
can
gunpoint.
track the IP of any viewer of this video. So
This is true.
keep
If
that
you
in
watch
mind
this
when
video,
you.
we have your IP.
Yeah.
until they fully with
Anyway,
VPNs.
Oh,
Right.
we can get past VPNs. We're very good hackers.
Very top-notch hackers. I'm an anonymous.
Mm.
Anyway, so the
Give
first
it.
question, right?
Hmm?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay.
Mm.
The
One thing
chegg.
comes fast.
The chegg. Wow,
The
profound.
It's a chicken encased in an egg, but it can move around and eat and flap its wings.
One sec.
Interesting.
So like
Right.
like the eggshell's like there, like the whole chicken's inside the egg, but like the chicken has its feet at the bottom of the egg, and its head out the top, and its wings out, and it's basically a chicken wearing an egg as armor.
Hmm. That's very
That
wise.
is it.
Very
Yes.
profound.
Also, I know this because I have like 40 chickens. I occasionally see one strutting around in military garb, so I'm an
How about
expert.
that? A real expert. Let's go. Right. What's your perspective, Checo?
Honestly, I believe it probably is the egg that came first.
Based.
Mainly because like if we use evolution, like all evolution is just kind of mutations throughout time for adaptability for survival essentially. I mean that's why sharks and crocodiles haven't evolved in hundreds of million years because they're pretty much perfect for their environment for what they do. So it's fit for it. But
Facts.
birds and chickens, they're always changing, just genetic mutations. But no, I say the egg is first because there's some bird, whatever it is, laid the egg, and by the sheer coincidence, genetic mutation, and the egg happened to be a chicken, and evolved from there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with evolution because there was never a point where like a non-chicken gave birth to a chicken, right? But over generations, the difference is noticeable, you know. So there's like one arbitrary point in time where we go, oh, this was a fowl or like a proto chicken, and then this is an actual chicken. But wherever you put that line, the egg comes first, objectively speaking, and anyone who says the chicken is a dumb fuck.
Because
And that's
chickens
facts.
didn't exist. Yeah. Bam. Evolution. There we go.
Epic. Yeah. A little while ago, we were in the library at school, and this guy, I won't say his name, but he goes up to us, and he goes, "Oh, Jeremy, I got a riddle for you. What came first, the chicken or the egg?" And Jeremy goes,
Oh,
he goes,
I know
"Well,
him.
the chicken. Yeah, the chicken came first because eggs can't come, and so that just leaves the chicken." And he goes, "What?
Remember that?
No."
I remember that.
I remember that very well. That was a good meme. He didn't even get it for like 10 minutes. Anyway. Alright. Very topical question, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Russia invades Ukraine, should the West intervene?
Well, aren't they like currently going up against Kazakhstan right now?
I don't know. I think that's just protests. Maybe they're funding some groups, but I really don't know.
No, because because if they lose their ally in Central Asia, like I recently saw like a YouTube short which didn't actually explain it well, just like yeah, they couldn't invade two countries at once, so right now they're kind of pulling away from Ukraine and going towards Kazakhstan right now. But like I might not know how true that information is, just from a YouTube short.
Yeah, I don't
That
know either.
yeah, but like right now it isn't. I'm not too sure. Like if
Yeah.
if they're actually going up against Ukraine right now, and then just leaving their Central Asian ally just like going up in ruins because protests are like, oh, I want you to go away from Russia.
Yeah, I mean, U.S. intelligence certainly thinks that Russia may invade Ukraine in the near future, and you know they have done it recently in 2013, or 2014. So
Wait,
it's not
I'm
was
sorry,
that
but
the
did you say US and intelligence in the same sentence?
U.S. unintelligence. Sorry,
Hmm.
important distinction.
Wait, are you talking about the little green men that crossed over to get to Crimea?
The little green men.
Yeah, the little green men.
The leprechauns?
Yes, the
No,
leprechauns. What?
the Russians.
Yeah.
They use their
I'm
little
pretty
green
sure they're
men.
white.
Yeah.
No, but their uniform's green.
Oh,
Shut it.
why are they little?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Gosh.
thought they're pretty big people, aren't they? Like,
I mean, they're average, you know.
Well, I get my information from a trusted source.
Yeah,
I don't know, the
Infowars.
guy in that music video, like the Russian guy, he's pretty big.
Who?
I don't know, the fuck. Have you ever seen that like Rasputin like animation where they're trying to make the fucking disco boots?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, the Russian guys in there, they're pretty fucking big.
Yeah, he was a big lad.
Yeah.
Well, I actually just watched an interesting video about this, which is about like a game plan analysis of like Russia invading Ukraine and like how the West should react, right? So it's like maybe if the West intervenes in Ukraine, then like more people will die, of course, in the short term. But overall, when we intervene in things like this, it's a discouragement to countries like Russia. And so in the long term, the hope is that less people will die if we do intervene. So that's my stance, at least.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't know there was even tensions between them. I thought that was in the past that Russia fucked over the Ukraine. I didn't know there was shit happening now. So
No.
I don't think I'm qualified enough to have an opinion on this one.
Well, that is fair enough. Fair enough. Well, next question then. Is gender a social construct?
100%.
Interesting. What do you
Well,
guys think?
I don't know.
everything's a social
I think it's
construct to us to the social constructionists. That's what Jordan Peterson said.
Fascinating stuff.
pretty much
Mm.
every argument is that's what Jordan Peterson said.
Yeah.
You can say that.
I've noticed that argument being made a lot.
Recently, by me or by someone else?
No, by you.
By me, recently.
Yeah,
Have we
you'll
talked
say
recently?
some shit like Jordan Peterson said this. Like, how about you
That's
just
like
say
your
the
only
fucking
source of
point?
information.
Anyway, yeah, never mind.
Well, I mean, technically, it's not totally wrong. Like, pretty much everything is a social construct to a certain extent.
I don't know. Like,
Oh
here's
shit! I'm
here's the
losing you.
thing. If it is like, what is interesting is that like, in pretty much every culture around the world, like the role has been the men go out doing the hunting and shit, and the women stay and like protect the babies. Like that's like pretty common around the world, like in culture. I don't know.
That is
That's
a
Yeah.
yeah. That is a commonality between all
yeah.
cultures,
I don't know.
basically. Apart
Not.
from the new modern woke culture, which I despise.
The leftist, postmodernist Marxists who are trying to. They'll give
So,
you a dirty room.
Oh,
They're a
I hate it
chimpanzee
because
full of
Jordan
snakes,
Peterson.
oh no.
metaphorically speaking, of course.
Or literally, you know, if you want to get metal.
But
Alright, well,
honestly, going back to the topic, how have I always seen this? Things that you got to make a very distinct like line between gender and your sex, essentially. Like you cannot change your sex either male or female. That's that. You cannot change that at all. But your
Unless you're
gender on how you want to
science.
be identified as, sure, that can be changed, man. Because all gender is pretty much just how you want to identify yourself as, right? Because like
mhm.
that's how I read it. It's like, oh yeah, I am male. Like why? It's going to like the pronoun thing. It's like, yeah, like say my gender is like male, for example, but I could also change, say, what if I don't want to be classified or like my gender as male, but the thing is, like your sex will always be that. You cannot like change sex, but you can always change your gender, which is pretty much how you want to be pronounced. Essentially, it's like who do you want to identify as is your gender, but your sex can't be changed. That's how I usually see it.
Yeah, that's a reasonable perspective, right? What do you guys think about it, Chris and Jeremy?
I don't know. I think they're like it's kind of a thing, but also, yeah, I guess so. I guess gender is a social construct. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, above all, this whole debate is more semantic than anything else.
Yes.
Whether gender is a social construct or not really just depends on what you mean by gender. Like,
Uh,
no one would claim that people's gender expression is non-social. I mean, not many people at least. But lots of people don't view gender as gender expression. They view gender as just interchangeable with sex.
Mm.
Which
That's what I
is
think
funny
the
because
bigger
I don't
argument.
remember having gender with your mum last minute.
That's an XD moment. Big
Yeah.
ruffle.
But no, honestly, I believe that way you said, Jones, is where a lot of the confusion is. It's that people think gender is like can be interchangeable with your sex, even though you kind of can't like if you want to make the argument of like your gender is different than your sex. Like yeah, like I agree it is, but like I feel like a lot of the miscommunication and misconception is that gender is your sex, even though it's not. That's where a lot
Yeah.
of the conflict arises from.
Yeah, it kind of boils down to which definition has the most utility. And so when you have people who are maybe one sex but kind of socially live as kind of another gender, they're non-cis, maybe they're non-binary or whatever, uh, there should kind of be terms to describe that person, you know. And so it would be very useful to have a definition of gender that's separate from sex.
I don't know. I think what I kind of like think. Oh, come on, just like I don't know. It's once it gets like I can kind of accept like non-binary as like an option, but once it gets past that, I'm kind of like, come on. I feel like that's just being a bit like you're trying to be different for the sake of being different at that
You
point.
mean like dream gender?
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna just say yes.
You know the YouTuber Dream?
No, you don't
Oh
explain to him,
God,
please.
don't tell me that they
Don't
it's
explain to
like
him,
I
please.
identify as Dream or some
Oh my
shit.
god.
Yeah, pretty much. They have their own pride flag and everything.
Honestly, like
God damn.
ah, like like it's okay. What am I trying to formulate here? You guys discuss. I'm trying to formulate an answer.
Alright.
Fair enough.
Fucking, what were we saying again?
Stuff
Oh,
on
yeah.
gender and stuff and distinctions between that and sex.
Yeah, yeah. Jeremy, do you think maybe the reason that you're kind of open to the idea of non-binary, but a bit more closed off to like the more abstract kind of new age genders, is more just to do with like how much exposure you've had to it, and so you might be like more comfortable
I
with
don't know.
certain
It's mainly
situations.
because I don't. The main reason I say I'm kind of okay with non-binary is because I just fucking convince myself that I am, so I don't end up opening a fucking can of worms when I'm fucking talking with Aaron.
Too.
So, Aaron, my fucking sibling.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't
So
know. I feel like at that level, it's like you like if you don't feel like a female, that I thought that just meant you're a fucking tomboy or whatever. What the fuck happened to that? Instead of like, oh no, I just guess I'm not this gender anymore.
well, the thing is, people kind of came to the conclusion that it would have a lot of utility for people to be able to identify as another gender. I mean, if someone wants to hypothetically live as another gender, right? Then it would be kind of inconvenient to be like, oh, I'm a tomboy, even though they live their life
I
completely
mean,
as a man.
I see that like if you like the whole changing gender things, that's like fair enough, but like to say that you like it's like, oh, actually, I'm neither, because I'm quirky. I feel like that's what it
I,
seems
I'm
like.
different from all the other girls.
I don't know. I failed to see like the fucking thing there.
Mm. So you view non-binary people as trying to like stand out.
To some level, I guess, but like,
Like, to what degree is it just them,
or like people who've convinced themselves, like, through some thoughts, like shit like that, that they just convinced themselves that they're not part of the gender, you know.
Well,
I don't know,
I,
through some sort of
I,
thing. I don't know.
I kind of also see it as like so many people moving towards these non um the biological male and female, like they're moving away from that because um I don't know. I could go I could go all political and all that, but like which I'm
I mean,
not
feel
going to
free.
because
That's never stopped you before, don't worry.
yeah, I know that.
Well, that's what podcast is for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to explore ideas and have a talk about like which ideas are bad and wrong.
Don't
You know,
give your ideas.
a political discussion with politics and all that is to determine like which one's better and which one's not. But
Yeah.
like just to
Based.
talk about it, just having a chat is also is a good thing as well. But like so many people are moving away from the binary with the binary system of male and female. Like I think they're creating a I'm not going to say like a different system, but it's more it's a binary system where you just got male and female on one side, and the other side you got like 50 different other things options. And still, either way, if half, let's say half the people identify as male and female in the biological terms, and the other half identify as any of those 50 or whatever genders there are, it creates a binary system in some case because you're either going to identify as non-binary or binary. Therefore, creates a new system,
Yeah. I mean.
which in those
Then
two
there's people
systems.
like I identify as some at different times depending on how I'm feeling at the moment, and then
Like,
I'm
yeah,
actually both at the same time
like
all the time, or
I'm gender
I'm
fluid. It's like,
neither sometimes, but sometimes I'm this, sometimes I'm that.
yeah, but like if there's too many people going towards the non-binary of the former biological binary system, you're going to create a new binary system. So what's going to stop them from going further than that? That they're going to escape the newer binary system. Like the problem is just going to keep on going and going if you think about it. Because
Do you
if they can already
have
go this far with 50-ish genders, then they can make some new crazier ones just on the other side. And they say it's like it's further from the normal, so you stand out more.
Do you have
And
a?
like I
Is that? Do you view that as bad?
like it's not bad, but like people are gonna focus too much on like what gender they are. They're not gonna focus on things that really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And if
I hate to
people
say it, but I agree with Chris on this one, kind of like
and if and like I kind of
to an
dislike people
extent.
who like and kind of dislike people. Jeremy may or may not agree may or may not agree with this one. Like I kind of dislike people who like, okay, you misgender me. Like, how the hell am I supposed to know? We have no prior contact, and I just happen to misgender
I
you. Like,
I don't think there's a single person like, well, there's probably some, but like
there's
I'd say
probably
most
some.
people agree that like if you misgender someone for a first time like
It
experience, like
it should
that's
just be a
a mistake.
write-off, you know? Like, how
And
the hell
I
am I
think,
supposed to know?
yeah,
Like, do you have a
I've had
problem
people
with?
misgender me before. People say that I was a girl.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I had long hair as a kid, so I feel that.
So yeah, it's like and I think everyone can agree that like I shouldn't be like, oh my fucking god, I hate you.
yeah. Like, if
Like,
if
oh
it's a
well.
first time encounter, then like you shouldn't be mad about it. But if they know that you don't like being called those things and like they keep on doing it, then yeah, you should be mad about that.
So,
Like, yeah, you're being a dick at that point.
are you against
What?
people calmly and respectively like correcting you?
What?
So
No,
if you were
like
to misgender someone,
if I accidentally misgender someone on a first time basis that we encounter each other, I think that they shouldn't go off their rocker and just like, oh, you misgendered me and get all mad about it. Like,
I think
yeah. So
everyone thinks that.
your problem is with the overreaction, not so much that
it's it's
they're correcting
it's
you.
it's not the correction. It's just the overreaction
Yeah.
of some people, of maybe a very few, who just go like, oh, like you misgendered me, like I'm gonna basically kill you, your family, and your dog. Like,
I think the people that do that are the ones who are like that for attention.
hmm.
Like the ones who are like, "Oh my God, how dare you do that? I'm
Like
very special, I'll have you know."
I'm deeply offended. I'm going to have a seizure right now. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
scream and wail and carry on. Like I see no use and practicality in that. Sorry, okay, I know that you misgendered me, and all that, but like, can you please refer to me these pronouns? Like, you've asked nicely. Now I understand your situation, so I'm gonna do that. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. But if you scream and wail and carry on, I'm just gonna dislike you, and just like, no, I'm not talking to you ever again, because you're acting not unjustly, because that has to do with law, but like, you strangely, very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see like no use for it. Like if you do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is totally possible that the reason for their, high emotion in that context is that they are constantly misgendered, and so that they kind of get tired of it over time. I'm not saying it's necessarily good to get that mad, but like just to understand them, then that's probably where they're coming from.
Yeah, but if I'm meeting them for the first time, I don't think they should just go like, oh, and then just scream.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's certainly a minority of people. Um. So back to the main question, like
yeah.
Chris, do you think that gender is a social construct?
Well, you want me to quote Jordan Peterson again? But like,
No, no.
Wow.
yeah, but like,
I think this needs to be a challenge. Chris going one debate without quoting Jordan Peterson.
well, I did like the whole debate session or like a debate question because we're gonna have to define those two.
A whole podcast.
The whole podcast, okay. Well, I already
Jesus,
failed this one.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's impossible.
We'll
Wow,
try again next time.
impossible. But like, we can do that next time. But like, is gender a social construct? Okay. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna get highly because as Jacko said, it's how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like how
I
they
could
feel as they.
argue. Yeah, I could argue that it's kind of like a point of like self-expression. Essentially, it's like how you present yourself. It's like how you express yourself is what gender is. Like, no, I see it kind of as like gender is a form of self-expression to some extent.
Yeah, I can agree to that, but like, I don't think it's like because if gender because like if it's okay, so it's the self-expression, so therefore it's used in social settings. So that means it would be a social construct for you to express yourself.
Mm.
That's my understanding, and that's how my brain works. So like I would then in that case, then I'll see gender as a social construct because they're using the new definitions of what their gender is as a means of expressing themselves and like how their person runs and
Yeah.
I'll
and
be
how they
back.
like to be interacted.
Do you view it as a spectrum?
Okay, what is defined as a spectrum? What is the spectrum?
So as opposed to having rigid categories like maybe a binary or three or whatever. You know what a spectrum is, right?
Yeah, but like in the spectrum of the gender spectrum, like I don't know what that means.
So
I know what the spectrum of colors is, like the spectrum of radio frequencies, but I don't know what a gender spectrum
yeah.
is.
So on one side you'd have extremely masculine, and on the other side you'd have extremely feminine, and then in the middle it's kind of neutral, right?
Hmm.
And so most people fall into like uh, maybe either in
Well,
between the middle and extremely feminine, or in
well,
between the middle and extremely masculine.
well,
So they kind of
wouldn't those like the feminine and masculine traits? They're characterized after like biology between men and women,
this
which
is
is
a
a
gender, not
sex.
sex.
Yeah, no, but like you're using masculine traits. So what are masculine traits usually, linked to? The man, which is a biological term or whatever it is, whatever. but like in
well,
using feminine traits, like those are inherently linked to the biology of the man and woman. Like I don't like the idea of the gender spectrum, like because like if you because you're using feminine and masculine traits to identify who you are and all that, like, but you're still using the biological, you know, binary system to use to self-express yourself outside of it. So like, but like I don't s- I have I don't think there's a bloody spectrum, even though it's just my personal beliefs is it man or woman. And if you don't if you don't, cause a ruckus or whatever, I will call you whatever you want. But if you cause a ruckus, I'm gonna call you by my beliefs.
interesting. So just for a clarification, right? So in this field, I'm not saying colloquially, but in this field, uh, it's male and female to refer to sex, and men and women to refer to gender, and then
How's it men and
masculine.
women to refer to gender?
What do you mean?
No, because that those men and women, they're biological terms.
In this,
They're going off the XX and XY chromosomes, which is in biology.
yeah, colloquially, people use male to refer to men, and vice versa with women and females. But
Like I
in
call my dad a man,
yeah,
and I call my mother like a woman.
yeah.
That's referring to their sex, not to their gender.
So colloquially,
Those two don't even like have basically no understanding of what the LGBTQ stuff is. Okay,
yeah.
they
So
know those as they know that the only genders are men and like are male and female. And I'm not about to go change their whole their whole beliefs about that because of what I think.
Now,
so
Like
like, I
that
think what
that's their idea. That's what their ideas have been generated like through their whole experience. I'm not about to change that. I'm not about to change my own
yeah. So in
because
casual speech,
just because a majority of people want to, define language in a certain way because their beliefs say so. Like,
yeah. So in casual speech, people often use man and male and female and woman interchangeably. But in this field, where you have sociologists and philosophers who distinguish between sex and gender, male and female refer to sex, and men and women refer to gender. Um,
but how though?
so
How they defined? How are men
so
and
they don't.
how are men and women defined as gender?
Pardon?
How are men and women used to define gender?
Well, the definition
Yes.
is that male is that man refers to gender, and so does woman. Like I'm not really following what you mean by the question.
Well, they're the masculine and feminine terms, which is linked to biology,
In this,
therefore in my mind it connects to sex, not to gender.
so in this field, people have decided that male and female refer to sex, and men and women refers to gender. And I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is true in this field.
How's
You
it true?
understand?
hmm
I want to
I think
know.
it
What do you
makes
mean?
sense.
I want to know how it's true.
This is what they believe in the I forget the word,
Like the
in the
definition for
field
in
where
this
people
field, like
discuss these things and where people believe
I want to see
in
those
philosophy, right?
discussions.
They use these
I
terms,
mean,
right?
like I guess it kind of not on top of it kind of is like in the field I like to study maths. Like, where there's some things we say that is like it's completely relevant to like the like usual world, but we're using
Yes,
like in a math sense. Like
it's
say we're
completely
like
different in the math sense.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's also but take that as kind of like in the systematic education, like in like formalities, like in certain fields, certain like words or you define things differently than you would in normal
Yeah,
conversation.
different words are
Sure.
defined in different fields, but
Like if I was to say tangent, Like, we could use the math term, we're finding the tangent of a line. We use derivatives, we do stuff
Yes,
like
you can
that.
use the math,
But if we
physics,
could,
or whatever it is.
but a tangent is also could be, kind of what I'm doing now, just gone off completely kind of different. So it's all about definitions in the field you're essentially
And
working in.
and context to the situation that it is in.
Yeah, so I kind of see that as what this gender thing is like. You define, like, the definition of like sex is male or female, but the gendered version of that is like man and woman.
Yeah. Uh,
So is that referring male and female to gender?
So
By that
male
said?
and female refer to your sex,
Yeah.
while being a man or woman is your gender.
Okay, I'm going to completely just stop this tangent. Let's go on to a different one because I'm just going to be sitting here for hours just trying to comprehend it
I
because it
mean,
doesn't fit into my understanding of what I already have.
yeah. Well, it's a good opportunity to learn that.
Yeah, why would I learn it?
Pardon?
Why would I learn it?
Well, it's useful. It's interesting.
How's it useful to me right now?
I mean, not right now, but over your life, this idea is going to be more and more accepted. Um, and so you're going to run into more and more people that don't fit into the gender binary, and so it's going to be quite useful socially.
No, I wouldn't learn it.
Why?
Anyway, let's
Oh,
continue going on.
I'm just always in the mind of always learning new stuff, always expanding my knowledge. Essentially, that's just me personally.
Based. Yeah, Chris, I really don't mean this in like an insulting way, but it often seems like you're very against new ideas that go against the way you see the world.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out a quote from a fictional world called Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, the
We're
open
about to
mind
hear
is
some interstellar shit here.
interstellar shit with fucking psychers that connect to the emotional realm. Anyway, the open mind is like a fortress with its gates unguarded and wait. An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. I take basically nearly every idea that goes into my head or comes towards me with great scrutiny towards what I already have. Doesn't mean that I completely disregard it or that I don't want to listen to it. If it has some worth towards me right now, then I would adopt it for a period of time. And if I see it no longer useful, and I discard it.
It certainly seems like you are disregarding this idea,
Yes,
to me at
because
least.
it's not entirely useful to me right now.
I mean, not necessarily right now, but as I'm saying, in the long term.
Well, I don't see it as useful in the long term
Why?
because I don't.
No, but what's the
And
reason?
that's going into the issue of free will, which you and me had a major discussion over.
Yeah, we can get to that. But so why do you not see this idea as being valuable in the long term?
Just because I don't.
So there's a reason
Okay,
for
so
this, right?
you want to know? You want to know the reason?
Yes, please.
Is the different? Do I want to know the difference between distinguishing a man and a woman and a man and female and a man and women when I could be working, getting money for my family, which we are in massive debt. Okay, I'm doing this out of survival of my family, not just me. These new terms or whatever that you want to try force onto me, I'm seeing it as force. Doesn't mean it is, but I'm seeing it as force. But like, it's not entirely useful to me right now because my family, if I don't work, might possibly lose the house.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? That means I possibly might lose my entire family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not entirely useful to me right now because it doesn't make me money. Okay,
Yeah, are you consistent with this? I
Yeah.
mean, do you believe that
I'll be
everything that
back. I
doesn't...
gotta do some shit.
I'll see you, mate. Um, is that your reason? Because it doesn't make you money?
oh well, is it useful for the continual existence of my family? No, it's not.
So, is that the only reason?
There's many other reasons which I do not want to get into right now.
Right. Because if you apply that reason consistently, so everything that doesn't make you money should be disregarded, then you'd be
No, not everything.
disregarding a lot more things. So yeah, it certainly seems like this is more than about money, because you're not making money now, and you're perfectly fine recording this podcast.
Yes, I'm perfectly fine because I'm doing it out of my own free will. Because the open hours of the shop has closed. What am I supposed to do with my free time? I know nothing else.
I mean, you could learn about gender theory.
No, because it's not useful to me right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn some complex analysis.
Yeah.
That shit's fucked. I'm telling you, I'm learning that right now. That's
So, do you only learn about things that are useful to you?
Yes.
So,
And oh my God, I've been learning a lot.
about what?
Oh, that's a topic for another day,
So,
not for today.
I can only imagine.
Hmm.
Alright, well, okay. Next topic. Would it be possible for a god to give us free will?
Okay, you phrased that question wrong, I have to say.
How so?
Okay, what you said is, if I scroll up a little bit, yeah, is it hypothetically possible for a god to grant people free will? Okay, Jonesy.
Wait, hold on, I just need to refill my drink bottle. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Hmm. When I first understood about that question, he was talking about like God, like just God in general, and not some fucking philosophy about how you don't have free will because basically the Big Bang Theory. But like if we capture the fucking theology of it, I'm like, oh yeah, oh no, that's a I'm gonna, hmm?
I'm just thinking, like, I was thinking out loud.
Yeah,
Would
well,
God hypothetically give free will?
yeah, but like Jonesy went on about determinism and libertarian free will.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was two philosophies. I was talking about the theology part of it.
Mm.
And like I
I
wanted
don't
to
know.
talk I wanted to talk about the theology about God and like, if God was real and we,
Mm-hmm.
throw away the throw away those philosophies and just talk about if God was real and he wanted us free will, and like what could turn that into, into an answer. But Jonesy had to basically just like, okay, libertarian free will and determinism, ugh,
Yeah,
which was just
so,
ugly.
if we're referring to like the Abrahamic conceptualization of God as this all-knowing, all-powerful, and
Yeah,
all
but the
And all,
benevolent
don't
being.
don't 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 is the Abrahamic ones with
like the
Muslim
monolithic gods, so like Christianity, Judaism, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Muslim
Islam.
as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's actually I done a little bit of research on that. Like the Muslim faiths, like some of them actually believe, but some of them actually had Moses and Jesus in it, like which
Mm,
was interesting.
Yeah.
interesting.
And
Well, I think.
and both
Mm,
the Bible and the Quran have the Ten Commandments
Hmm.
as well,
Yeah,
which
they're
the
similar religions.
yeah, just
yeah.
one is looked down upon because of recent's like 20 years,
Yeah.
20, 22, 20, 20, 20 years, 20 to 20 to 22 years,
Yeah. Uh.
which was, the 9/11
Yeah.
attack, which was an inside job. But
Oh, yeah. Um.
Agreed.
So yeah, if we're referring to God as the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-benevolent God,
Mm-hmm.
then if okay, I need to explain a term called determinism. Basically, the idea is that everything has a cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that cause has its own cause, and that cause has its own cause, and so you go back to the beginning of time, where the most fundamental things you have are the laws of nature. And so the laws of nature, you could think of it as
I don't think it would be the laws of nature.
just hold on. as like
I think it'll be more like, just how, just the Big Bang which caused everything,
yeah. So you
not
could
the
think
laws
of
of nature.
that as a stick or whatever it's called in a pool game, and every event after that is a billiard ball, and each billiard ball hits another one, and that causes another event, and so on until you get to the present, right? And so each event is the only possible event because that's how it was caused by the laws of nature.
Well,
So it's impossible for anything else to happen except for what has happened.
yes, the laws of nature, which is Newton's law of gravity. Newton's law
That's
of
an example,
gravity,
yeah.
his three laws of motion, the ideal gas laws, Mendel's law, the laws of supply and demand, and so on. That was
And
from our Stanford Encyclopedia of
yeah,
Philosophy.
those aren't exactly all laws of nature, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Well, you're talking about the laws of nature, which are natural instinct or natural relation of human beings or other animals due to native character or condition,
Not
like the
exactly.
animal sense, or we're talking about the laws of nature, which talks about gravity and the three laws of motion,
So like the laws of science, the laws of physics, right? The things that are unchanging
like
or
gravity.
fundamental. Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
example.
that law of nature.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Well,
if you say you think of the Big Bang as a stick hitting a billiard ball, okay, let's take an action, right? Pick any action.
We're getting here right now in this conversation.
You being here right now in this conversation. So what caused that to happen?
We being the Discord server. And how that happened? You invite me in. And how that happened? Through school. And how that happened? Existing. It's kind of like, from my idea of determinism, that it's like pretty much like a chain of events that pretty much led up to this exact moment in time. Essentially, that everything, because of if you go back and keep going back through every chain reaction, it's kind of
Totally.
like predetermined that that event would happen because of the initial type of
Yeah.
point it started from.
So it's like people who may believe in libertarian free will, which is a philosophy that, believes in free will, right? Is the idea that free will isn't exactly caused, um, which doesn't make logical sense to me at least, because people's free will is caused by their psychology, which is caused by evolution,
Chemicals.
which is caused by the earth existing, which is caused by etc. etc. So when it boils down to it, our actions are determined by things like the Big Bang.
okay,
Like,
Jonesy,
yeah.
I want to ask you a question. Well,
Yeah.
like when you first stated the question, is it hypothetically possible for a god to grant us free will? I thought you were going to debate me about like theology and all that, and actually go instead of pulling out terms like libertarian free will and determinism. I thought you were going to talk to me about like God and all that.
I mean,
But
we could. We've
like
been
yeah, like
focusing
we've been
on
focusing
the.
too much about philosophy and what the man has made, like instead of actual God.
I mean, that's part of philosophy.
Like yeah,
Um.
like
I think a big part of theology and philosophy, main theology is philosophy because I mean
yes,
a lot of
Yeah.
which was
laws are based on theology. Like Christian values are still to this day used as laws. So I think having like a healthy dose of understanding theology, but also discussing philosophical aspects of it is quite handy because you get the best of both worlds.
yes,
Yeah. I
like
mean, the reason I've been focusing more on the is it possible to have free will part than the God part is because
it's because
um
you'll lose in the God part.
is
I'm
because
just I'm gonna come out boldly and to say you'll lose in the God debate of this.
So I probably would
um
as well. Honestly, I'm not well
Yeah,
versed in
because because
my theology.
if God was real, like I don't believe in him, but if God was real, I would be scared of him because he
mhm.
gave me free will. But then again, he gave me free will because he doesn't want us to be chained like the devil.
But he's still got a plan.
Yeah.
But
So,
God's still
which
got a
doesn't
plan.
work unless you do exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Yes, but he gave you the choice to do what you want. You don't have to follow his plan.
No, but
He gave you the
doesn't his
choice to
plan
do what
always
you
work
want.
out because he's omnipotent and like his plan will always work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't know
don't
what his
mean
plan
that.
is, and if he
Yeah,
is real,
so
I'll be goddamn scared. But
Why don't people
but
why do
but
people
God
say
came
God is
down.
loving? He's a dick.
God is a dick.
so
God
You
is
know.
You
a
sin
massive
once, you're
fucking
going for eternal torture.
like how do you like love God when he's such a fucking loser?
Well, what about God went down and like which one was it? Like he asked someone to sacrifice his son.
yeah,
Um,
Like
Abraham, I
just for
think.
shits and giggles, just
like
to see
like
how much of a bitch he was.
he did that because he wanted to see like if he will actually listen to his God.
Which is
It's
fucking
He
like, oh
wanted.
my
dumb
god,
because
you actually
apparently he's all
fucking
knowing.
did it.
So why does he need to test things?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's God. I can't
Man,
He
determine what
wants
Yeah.
to
God
see
does
some
or what
shit.
God
He's
wants,
watching a
what God
fucking
sees.
movie, I guess. You know?
another thing is like kind of I see it's like a little like fucking plot hole if you want to call that. Is that if God truly is like omnipotent, omnipresent, all that stuff, then he should already know the result of something that's going to happen even in the future because he's all knowing. It's like he knows like you won't like follow me, so I already know that. Like
He like created humans, and then when they did the first sin, it's like, and he was fucking surprised and he cursed them.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? You
like you already should
damn
know
well
that because
fucking
you
knew
know.
that was gonna happen.
Yeah, if you're all knowing, you already knew humans would have not followed
Yep.
your will. So like yeah.
And that was the first example of free will. God commanded that you do not go near that tree and pluck the apples. Guess what Eve did? She went near that tree and plucked the goddamn apple because of a snake.
Yeah.
That's an example of free will. Because if God was all knowing and all omnipotent or omnipotent, I can't say words correctly sometimes, then he would exactly know, and that's why he let us do it. He let us do it. He let us commit sin. He let us. He sent down his own son, for Christ's sakes. I don't believe in him, but he sent down his own son to help us with our sins. And I'm not a firm
God
believer of the
sending
Catholic faith.
himself down so he can save people from himself.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah, but
I see
What
you
a
spend a lot
dick!
of time on r/atheism.
It's like, oh
but
yeah, please
but
fucking
God
love me.
God created
Please
the
love
earth
me.
so humans can be there.
I stopped myself from being a dick for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
God created the earth so humans can be there. Hell is a separate entity. Man is not supposed to go into hell. That's why it's there. That's why the devil wants to bring you there. God wants to keep you out of it. That's why he
I
gave
thought
you
the
free
devil was
will.
just a guy who happened to be in hell. Like the
No,
like
he was an angel that was a bit of a dickhead. So
yeah, he's not in charge of hell. He just suffers in there like the rest of everyone
he's
else who
just
goes
some
there.
random guy that's there on weekends.
Yes, like
Except dude.
he's only there on the weekend. So
Yeah.
like all sin that you do on the weekdays doesn't count. He only
I
gets
mean,
you if you
there's still the
commit sin
lava and
on the
shit.
weekdays, on the weekends.
Yeah. There's still the fire. You just don't get by raped by Satan.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but like
so
but
say
like that goes into the hypothetical of if God is real because and like God gave us free will. And another example I can pull out of my ass right here is if God didn't give us free will, we wouldn't be talking about God giving us free will.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
How? How?
So I mean, just going forward, I'm not
Are, are you
accusing
are you
anyone
are you
of
pulling
anything.
out determinism?
So just moving forward with this, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but let's all try to let everyone finish their sentence and their whole point before we interject.
Yes.
So
Yeah, let people finish their sentences, Jackson.
I wasn't referring to Jackson.
I know. I just said a random name.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jezza.
So if you take an action, right, like me picking up my phone right now.
Oh, he's pulling out determinism.
Yeah, I am.
He's pulling out determinism. Oh my god.
The cause for that was psychological. I did this to prove a
Uh,
point, right?
I'm raising my hand, Jonesy.
Just let me finish, please.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah. So I did this to for this explanation, right? Why did I want to do this explanation?
Because
Well,
you want to
because
explain
just
determinism.
just come on. Because in my monkey brain, right, I have this urge to kind of communicate ideas and explain myself and conversate with people, right? But why is that? Well, because it had an evolutionary advantage. Intelligent great apes who were able to communicate ideas to each other had a survival advantage, right? And so why were they in that context? Well, it's because of the way the Earth was. There are certain animals that can kill proto-humans, right? And there are ways we try to survive, right? And intelligence aids in that. So what I'm getting at is that because of that fact of reality millions of years ago when humans were evolving, that directly caused me to pick up my phone. And if it wasn't for that, I never would have picked up my phone. So that directly caused my actions.
So, being a monkey caused you to pick up your phone.
Uh, my
Why
ancestors,
are you always on your phone, monkey?
A monkey.
my ancestors, being monkeys, was one cause. Of course, when we're this many billions of years into the universe, there are countless causes that go into each event, and so we
It's
try to only
all
pick one.
coming together.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
all
the
coming
ending of a
together.
multiple choice game. Sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, what do you guys think of that?
I still believe in free will.
I
Why?
don't.
You don't?
Oh my god.
Based. What do you
Yeah.
think, Jacko?
It is. I'm thinking about this next one that I haven't really thought of this entirely about free will versus determinism. Like, some part of me says is some parts are deterministic, but some parts of me also says there is free will, mainly just because of the just the field of quantum physics itself. It's not deterministic, essentially. It's
So
like
is quantum mechanics disproving determinism? Pog?
no, so like how the basis of quantum physics is based on, or quantum mechanics is based on things called probability density functions. And to make it simple or try and make it simple, is essentially that, for example, orbits and like shells and like electrons and all that, it's not electrons and like particles in space aren't determined. It's kind of like a probability of where they are, because I think called Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Like we can know where something is, but we can't determine how fast it is. Or we can know how fast something is, but we can't really determine where it is in space. So kind of quantum physics is kind of about uncertainty. In some sense,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's a probability something will be here, and we can have a higher probability of something being there, but we can't guarantee that it will be there.
Yeah. So probability and randomness is one thing that people often say in retort to determinism. But when you really get down to it, everything that's seen as chance, so say rolling a dice, right? The fact
Hmm?
is, we view that as like the quintessential random thing, that and like flipping a coin, right?
Yeah.
But if you, in the exact same weather conditions, with the exact same force, exact same position, on the exact same surface, roll a dice, it will always land on the same side if you do it exactly the same. We only view it as random because we don't truly understand exactly how our actions will determine which number the dice will land on. So we
Well,
see
I know what my
it as
actions
random.
will determine if I stab you with a knife. I know what that
Stab
will
you in a
determine
knife
you.
with a knife.
I mean, do you really?
Yes. Yes, because if I stab you, you are going to bleed. That is the most basic outcome.
What if you stab him in the hair?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yes, I stab you in the hair, and then my blade nicks your skull.
Well, what if you don't nick the skull?
Well, then I'm just really bad at stabbing someone.
What if you stabbed someone but it goes through the shirt?
It goes through the shirt and completely misses their entire body.
Yes.
Man, I
They've
must
got
have
like a
rolled an
really loose
02.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
There
if
was
you
that one
stab
guy.
someone but it just goes through like the first 2 layers of skin, so like there's no bleeding?
Oh, yeah.
There was
You-
this
you-
one guy who was like extremely obese, and this one guy stabbed him, but he lived because like it didn't pierce all his fat. So yeah, that's the
In the
superpower
words
of being
of
fat.
in the words of Tony from Afterlife, but if you were skinny, it would just miss you entirely.
Based. Well, he probably wouldn't have the strength to run away or fight back if he was skinny.
No,
Yeah, but
bro,
you've got the strength to run away though, because you can just
yeah,
run away. You
because
can't
if you're
run away if you're
skinny
fat.
and you don't have the strength to
fast.
lift yourself, then you're just going to, not lift yourself. Because how's that skinny man walking? He must be able to lift himself and have enough strength to actually do that.
Interesting stuff.
So that's why he can run.
Anyway, back onto the
Yeah.
topic
Uh,
at hand.
let me just
What was the
introduce.
topic? Oh
Uh,
yeah, free will.
yeah. Let me introduce a new term, right? So there are three main ideologies when it comes to the debate of free will, and so we already know about determinism and libertarian free will. But one is called compatibilism. So basically, the idea is that determinism is correct, but it's compatible with free will libertarianism. So everything is determined, yet when we make an action, that is free will. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
That's
It's
right.
I still claim free will.
Yeah, so look, I can totally be compatibilist depending on what definition of free will you're using. So the language we use when we refer to free will, like choices, responsibility, things like that, have a lot of utility in everyday life. So we may casually say, "Oh, you have the free will to, go to the shop and pick up groceries and come back," but you choose to or not to, right? These are useful terms for ourselves. Yet determinism is logically correct, right? There's no way to disprove determinism that we know of so far.
Yes, there is.
Like what?
We already said it. Libertarian free will is a counter for determinism.
I mean, it's counterpart. It's not a counter.
Yeah, it's technically the same
if
thing.
if it was
It's an
like
it's an
the
opposite of
universal
it's an
counter,
opposite of
then
determinism.
everyone would believe that because it's like that's the one that's right. But there's a
Yeah, but
reason why people are. Yeah.
sorry. I just looked over to my brother's screen and like a guy was riding a skateboard. Then he got off the skateboard. He had like a butterfly skateboard. Like that was amazing. Anyway,
The swag is real.
like yeah, and there's like another skateboard inside that skateboard. Like what? But like yeah,
I don't
And
see
he had a
libertarian
skateboard
free
inside
will.
of there instead of a heroin needle.
bro, you
Yeah.
getting hyped up
Sorry.
twice.
Yeah. So look, Chris, do you view decisions you make as having causes?
No,
So how can something not have
I
a
just
cause?
do it when I just do it when I want to do it.
Can you help me? Can you help me understand how something can not have a cause?
Well, I just do it.
But can you elaborate a bit?
Well, I
Because
just do it. Why would I
you
need to
just
elaborate?
you
Why would I
just
need
Usually
to
as a
said,
elaborate?
motive.
but everything has a cause.
Why would I need to elaborate?
Well, you don't need to. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, like I don't need to.
Will you please elaborate?
Why would I?
Okay.
You're not going to get anywhere because
You
I'm
aren't
claiming free
helping your
will.
argument by saying that, though.
Well, I am helping my argument by saying I have free will and I have the free will to not answer that goddamn question.
You're repeating your point. You're not actually
Well,
making
then my
any
point has been
arguments.
made. Let us move
But I
on.
reckon the cause for you saying no to that is because you don't want to continue this debate.
I want to move
Ooh,
on to a different subject.
you seem to
See,
say that
that's the
every time you start to
cause.
lose.
No, it's not. Because I'm disinterested in the determination of whether free will is right or not. But I still claim that free will is I claim that I have free
So
will.
you're telling me that's the cause
What is the cause?
that you want to move on to another question.
Yeah, yes, and I have the free will to do that.
Hold on. So, are human choices the only thing that doesn't have a cause, or are there other things?
Well, there's dogs.
Okay, apart from other animals.
Everything you do has a motive behind it. So
Correct.
like
Oh, yes. I want to shoot a gun. I accidentally hit someone. Haha. I'm charged with manslaughter. Anyway, but
Can you
like,
help me understand your
What?
point there?
no, you shut the
Yeah,
fuck up.
please.
Like,
No.
I'm not following.
Yeah, why would I? Yeah, I can be a massive bitch about this.
Yeah,
You
you
are.
seem to do that whenever you
Yeah.
start to lose debates, man.
Wait, which one?
This one.
Yeah, you said do lose debates. You said a plural. This is only one.
Well, lots of them.
This has happened on many occasions.
fair enough. I've only been to 2 of these so far, including this one.
I do not recall.
They all wash into each other, you know?
Some random guy wants me to bring him into the call, so I guess I will.
Who's it?
Fuck
No, not
yeah.
Ad Sleezo.
Right now, why not? Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Wait, so who's coming in?
You know,
He's named not Ad Salizo.
Oh, it's him.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, hello.
Oh, he's
How we
he's
doing?
muted and deafened. He can't hear us. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
What happened?
hello.
What's up,
What
man?
happened? What's good, nigga?
It's nice to meet you.
Oh my
No,
god.
nice to meet you too. How you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm well. How are you?
Ah, man, I'm shit. I just finished my blunt, getting ready for bed, shit. But I just wanted to see what's up with you. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough, dude.
Man, I'm high as hell right now. Oh my lord.
You ready
Yeah,
to be
niggas.
famous?
Huh?
You ready to be famous?
Yeah, we're recording a
Man,
podcast right now.
apparently, huh?
Man, you
Yeah.
must have a good phone. You're in 60 frames per second.
I'm on a
Hey, man.
12, iPhone 12.
Hey, man,
Wow,
do you
must be
think we
great.
have free will?
Who you talking to me?
Yeah.
In what way?
So, are our actions caused by external factors? Or are they
I mean,
intrinsic?
you free to do what you want in life to an extent. I mean, at the same time, just because you free to do what you want don't mean that it can't be somebody that's gonna be there to manipulate what you're doing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So when you make a decision, that maybe is that always based on a factor outside of your control?
Nah, I think when I make a decision, it's just on a factor of what I think is the best thing to
Yeah.
do at that time.
So
And I feel like what you think, the best thing to do at the time is normally is always the best thing to do usually.
yeah, so evolutionary psychologists believe that what determines our thoughts comes from a variety of factors outside of our control. So we have ingrained instincts that come from the days when we were prey, right, and we were hunter gatherers. So say if we see a snake and we're not prepared, we involuntarily jump away, right, to save ourselves.
Shit, nigga,
And
I
that
don't
was
know.
caused by our history, right? So you didn't exactly have the free will in that context. You understand what I'm saying?
Look, bro, I'm high as hell. I fuck with you though.
Fair
If
enough.
I was,
Wow.
if I was so,
What a character.
Well,
What happened?
That was quite something.
this better be a recurring character throughout the series of the podcast. He just joins in
Just some random
sometimes.
stoner who's about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That was quite funny. Well, we might as well go to another question.
Fair enough.
What should the role of the state be?
Fuck all.
Mm.
Let's see what happens. No state.
Can I have a bit more clarification on what you mean by the state?
Like the government.
The
And like
state government.
the institution of a country.
So what's the question again? Sorry.
What should the role of the state be? So what should the role of the government be? And like the governing bodies of a country. What should their role be?
Because we could say like the state as in federal state, for example, like the like government states that we're in like right now. So differently, so what their role should be.
Would it just
feel like-
holistically? What should their roles be?
Regulators.
Regulators?
Like
Yeah,
the regulators from the Old West, like with Billy the Kid.
I
That was a cool
unfortunately don't know
gang.
your reference, so I cannot.
Reference, it's
Yeah.
fucking history. I'm referencing history. Billy the Kid, the
You're
fucking
referencing
outlaw.
You're
He was a
referencing
part of the
Thank You
gang
video.
called the Regulators.
Nah,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
No one really history I know.
So you've never heard of Billy the Kid?
Nah.
I mean, he's not that famous
Fucking
outside
hell.
of America.
Pardon?
He's not that famous outside of America.
Oh, come on, he's the fucking outlaw guy. He's
Honestly,
the outlaw guy.
If it weren't
The
for
only
the Thank Killer video, I wouldn't have known who he is.
the only outlaw
I've
that
heard
I
of the name
probably
before.
know in the US was the Texas Red from the song Big Iron.
Well, I suppose Al Capone was an outlaw, so to speak. But anyway,
Yeah, but no, he's not from the Old West. He was in the civilized world, like,
the
fucking-
civilized world.
yeah,
You're
the
saying Old West
civilized
isn't
world.
civilized?
It's not as civilized. It's more wild. That's why they called it the Wild West. You see,
Yeah.
That's fair
'Cause,
enough.
like, they weren't listening to what the government was telling them, and then they started cracking it down on at the beginning of the 20th century. Like there was like a real big fucking crackdown on that shit, and they were like, "Hey, how about you stop being dicks and conform to us?" And then they did.
Oh, conform. That's a word. Oh,
That's correct.
Yeah,
it is a word.
It is definitely a word, but yeah. And then they stopped going around and shooting people.
Yeah.
But
Do you think some like more extreme libertarians still kind of idolize the Wild West?
I mean, it's kind of fucking cool.
it's kind of cool riding around on horseback with a
It-
big iron on your hip.
I like. I
that
play a
is
lot of
being
Red Dead
honest.
Redemption 2. Like, I fucking love it. It looks fucking
Yeah.
cool. And then you remember you die of tuberculosis.
Yeah, not epic. I mean, look, it is undeniably cool, but just from an ethics perspective, like,
It's
well-
really cool to die of tuberculosis. That's the best bit.
true.
I think it's quite unethical to get tuberculosis because you might end up coughing on someone.
Yeah.
And then you give them tuberculosis.
Like
so
a
whoever
certain
gave
Thomas
you tuberculosis,
Downs, fuck you. Just let me beat you to death without coughing your tuberculosis on me. Dickhead.
So inconsiderate.
You made this game unnecessarily sad.
So sad. Well, anyway, back to the question, right? What should the role of the state
Yeah.
be?
well, I've already stated this in the question of the day,
Okay.
and I'm just going to retell it.
Okay.
One of the only roles of the state should have is to represent its people, and like referring to the Nazi regime and Stalinist Russia is like not to totally reconstruct its society and how it works. and the state should be doing what the people wills it, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And like it should go like the world, the state, then the people, and if you do believe in God, God.
Yeah.
Like that's how that's how the social hierarchy of governing bodies should go. Like we govern the governing bodies governing
Government
us.
is for the people, by the people, of
But-
the people. But
But the
the people
people
are
are
retarded.
retarded.
Hmm.
Good meme.
Fucking hell.
No, but look, if from my perspective at least, the role of anything comes down to what the ultimate fundamental good is. Okay.
Yeah. Ah, yes, the fundamental good. So
Yeah.
the greater good.
Well, it's a bit different. So, if you
The
get,
greater good.
that's a good movie.
Great.
If you get something that's good, like just pick anything, right?
Puppies.
Any good thing. Peas,
Puppies.
Puppies.
puppies. Okay, why are puppies good?
Tasty.
Okay, why is it good for something to be tasty?
Because
Taste.
Because
dopamine.
dopamine, exactly.
Dopamine. I think you're
Shit,
going
that's
with
what you
wrong-
wanted me to say. Fuck!
It is.
Hmm.
What I
That
was
was
getting
my-
at is every single thing that's good, what it comes down to is, at least indirectly, the reason for it being good is that it generates positive human emotion. And the same is true vice versa with bad things, right? So, from my perspective at least, the goal of the state should be to maximize the happiness of its people.
Oh, there you go with your utilitarian views.
So drug them by injecting them with serotonin.
Hell
No,
yeah, dude.
And also,
Get the
heroin
serotonin.
makes you happy, so why not just fucking inject them with heroin? That's
Only
good.
do it with
That's
heroin,
good.
it's cheaper.
That's great.
And if you're lucky,
Uh,
get some white powder into you.
Hell yeah, dude. There's actually a country just between India and China called Bhutan, and it's a bit undeveloped, but it has a very cool idea. So most countries, they measure their success by GDP, gross domestic product, which is how much money they make in a year. But what Bhutan does is it measures a gross happiness index. So it measures its success by how happy its people are.
Doesn't Finland do that and they have the #1 rated thing?
I haven't heard of that,
No.
but it, sounds like something they might do. So
I
yeah,
don't know. Finland's apparently the happiest country.
yeah. I mean,
Or
it
Norway.
changes
One of the
bet-
Scandinavian ones.
Yeah, it changes between the Nordic countries. I mean, Finland isn't Scandinavian, but not to be read about.
Oh, come on! It's in the fucking area. Okay, it's
Yeah,
it's the look.
it's Nordic.
The Scandinavian countries are the dick and balls of Europe. Okay, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
except for Norway. Norway's like,
That's like the weird tumor on the end.
yeah,
But anyway,
like Denmark's a little jizz at the end of it. Sweden's the dick. Finland's the balls.
yeah, you heard that right. If you're Danish, you are from Sweden's jizz. Anyway,
No, you're from Finland's jizz because
Finland's the
cum is
balls.
stored in the
oh
balls.
yeah, the true. No, that's where pee is stored. Idiot.
Good point.
Anyway, yeah, thank you.
So where's cum stored then? If Jesus, if
The
if
bladder,
yes,
the intestines.
I
For
in the
me, that
intestine.
is.
Man, you must have a really big intestine.
Intestine.
Damn, this has been quite derailed.
Yes.
What was the question again?
From talking about the
Mm.
role of the states, talking about how
Ah.
the Nordic countries are cock and balls. Anyway, so if we look at the countries that are the happiest, it is the Nordic countries. So, my conclusion is that the state should be run as similarly to the Nordic countries. as we can.
That's assuming
Or
that
maybe
the Nordic countries have reached maximum happiness.
yeah, I mean they haven't, but they're the most
As
successful.
far as I'm concerned,
So,
everyone's having a shit time right now.
so the okay. So what's the highest state of happiness that you can go? Is it euphoria?
That would be
It's
a
actually
good
while you're on heroin by
Really?
studies.
It's reaching
Well,
peak nirvana, but not the
yeah,
band.
it's supposed to be from what I've read that the reason
Whatever.
why usually like heroin and cocaine are so addictive is because you can never naturally get as happy as you are on the substances because your brain is overloaded essentially with like dopamine and serotonin, all the stuff that makes you happy. You can't naturally get to that level without taking those substances. So the reason why people are so addicted on it is because you'll technically never be as happy as you were unless you were taking them. That's why it's quite addictive because people just want to be happy, and you can
Man, I
never
just want
be
to be
that happy unless you do take them, which is just an abuse cycle essentially. Like it's quite sad, honestly.
Yeah, it's one hell of a drug, eh?
Definitely is.
Bloody hell. So yeah, thoughts on social democracy?
What's a social
Okay.
democracy?
It's the system of government in Nordic countries. So it's like capitalism technically because it's a market economy, but the government provides lots of services, which has led to the highest happiness in the world.
Hmm.
So those thoughts, bit opinions.
I don't really know much about the system, so I can't really talk to death. But hey, if it's working in Scandinavia, then must be all right then.
Based.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it might
How
not
about
work
this?
anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, whole bunch of little fucking colonies, right? With their own rules, and there's just like, but they're smaller, and you can just pick and choose which group you get to go to, and they like, okay, I want to follow these rules, live in this group with these people, or do I want to go over to this place? I mean, no, wait, okay, yeah, but you get the idea. There's like shit tons of little, like, smaller countries essentially, like little fucking town or city-sized countries doing their own thing.
So your ideal state would be
Mm.
like a federation where the states have like very high autonomy and people can freely move between them.
Mm.
Like
Like
the
the only
HRE,
rule is that you allow people to have the freedom to leave and like shit like that.
like the Holy Roman Empire.
A bit.
I don't know about that
That was
because I
more.
don't
That was
know.
more. That was more like a feudalistic society, though.
Yeah, not
Yeah, but
Pog.
this is like
Like
the idea
like
of
the
like there's many
Federation.
different societies and like there's so like you want to go to the one where it's like everyone fucking smokes weed and like it's fucking drugs all the places,
Yeah.
or you want to go to the one where it's fucking I don't know. You, you get the idea.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of different communities, and you do that. I want to see what would happen. That'd
I
be
mean,
very interesting.
Is this like? I mean, I don't mean for this to sound like an insult, but are you like memeing or is this like an actual point?
Okay, how do I make this seem real? Okay, how do I fucking...
Okay,
Okay.
I get how you could say that reasonably. So, the issue I have with this, right, is that it's not like going to a city or a state or whatever isn't like, going between like TV channels or video games, right? If there are city states all with different laws, the ones with really shit laws that lead to mass poverty and crime are gonna have poor people go to them to afford to live, right? So people are gonna be stuck in these bad places.
Yeah, good point.
So thanks. From my perspective, at least, the state should have. I mean, they can totally have a federation where they kind of experiment with different policies from region to region, but then they should implement the most efficient ones, federally. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We have like a little testing ground in the middle of
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, fucking what's somewhere no one cares about? Like that's
Fucking
Italy.
not
Nebraska.
too much. Yeah, we'll fucking wait. What was it? Nebraska.
Yeah. Fucking Nebraska,
Okay,
dude.
we'll take that. We'll like evacuate everyone in Nebraska and just make it a society testing zone where the entire motto is just fuck it, let's see what happens. And you can volunteer to be a member of this society if
Yeah.
you just don't care anymore and you want to sacrifice your life to science to see what
Yeah.
happens.
That would be.
I'd be part of it. I'd be
yeah.
fucking going to Nebraska to do that shit.
You'd probably die in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, probably, but fuck it.
Yeah. That's rock and roll,
know?
bro.
I
Yeah.
want to, like, have you ever wondered, like, what if we did this, but everyone's too scared to try?
Yeah.
Well,
like,
we just
like the
make
purge.
Nebraska that place where, like, every month it just cycles through. Maybe a yearly thing. A yearly thing.
Yeah. It's like some people do this thing where like they have like a Minecraft server or a Discord server, and it's like cycle through ideologies and just see what happens.
Yeah, we do that, but instead of Minecraft, it's Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, no one cares about Nebraskans anyways.
Yeah.
So why are you evacuating them then?
Let's just not do that part.
There we
Okay,
go.
fair.
Yeah.
It's like the Purge, but like, no, not really like.
But
the
with hillbillies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be kind of an interesting thing. Like
Purge.
memes aside,
Hillbillies and Saul Goodman.
to have like a simulation where we test out ideologies, and so we make it like as similar to real
Well,
life as we can.
I don't think we should simulate ideologies. Like the ones that made Germany go into a war, and then
No, I
that
mean in
one.
like in artificial simulations, like not actually doing it with real people.
If it was perfect, then like if it
Yeah.
was like perfect simulation of real life, then yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
What's
I mean that would be quite hard to do.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would
the
be
thing
no-
is, then that brings up the whole debate of if we could do that, then what's to say that we aren't in a simulation ourselves?
Mm.
That's deep, bro.
It
Bro,
is.
bringing up simulation theory.
we're in a
let's go.
simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation.
Let's go, bro.
Mhm.
You know what would be cool, right? So there's that fucking Winston Churchill quote that's like democracy is the worst system of government. Yeah. Apart from that one, his second best quote, democracy is like the worst fucking system of government apart from all the other ones. So it's like, what if we were able to, like, one of the reasons, the biggest reason for democracy having so many flaws is that we're not designed to be voters. We vote based on really arbitrary dumb things, like where our candidate is from and like how cool they are and like how confident they are, and then the leader is a flawed human as well. So what if we were able to get an AI that's just the absolute perfect leader?
Okay, so are you talking about
You want a
Rococo's
fucking
basilisk?
do you want Skynet? Because that's how you get Skynet.
I mean, look, it's certainly dangerous. I'm not going to deny that, but it's just an interesting idea.
Maybe we should run it through an AI simulation first.
So like,
That's a good
are you
idea.
proposing Rococo's basilisk as well?
What's that?
Basically, okay, Rococo's basilisk is like a paradoxal like theory type thing, where like when AI gets to advance, it can go back into the past, kill anyone who goes against it in the future and all that. Basically, you're suggesting that you're going to put the perfect AI like in control of humans.
Interesting.
Like,
perfect.
and like
Perfect.
if that perfect AI gets too perfect, he can go in and possibly go back in time to kill people who are going to rebel later on in his reign.
Yeah,
Jonesy,
I mean,
I'll send you a video on it. That's a pretty good video. That might give
thanks.
you some explanation on it later on.
yeah, I
That's
think I
easy.
saw that like a year or two ago, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this AI should be perfect, but also perfectly benevolent. So it's just its number one goal is just causing as much happiness as possible with its
Okay,
people.
with that perfect
Inject
benevolence,
heroin.
Inject
with
heroin,
that
Lots of
exactly.
heroin.
Lots of heroin.
Constantly.
with that perfect benevolence. Okay, let's okay. Basically, it can
Okay,
if
Jersey, sending you the link now.
Oh, cheers,
yeah,
mate.
I'm not
like
sure
if
if I
you
get the right account though.
I'll
So
put it
I'm
in
gonna
the
make sure.
description too.
if you follow the idea of Rococo's basilisk, and if that perfect AI is perfect is a perfect benevolence, uh, what that AI can do is go back into time, kill anyone that causes any unhappiness, to make everyone else happy.
I wouldn't think killing people who cause unhappiness will lead to the maximum amount of happiness. I mean, certainly it would be true for some
Giving that
people.
person heroin, however.
Yeah, that
That
would be
will
fucking
fix the
sick.
problem.
I mean, maybe if we just gave Hitler a bunch of heroin,
No.
Exactly.
he never would have done the Holocaust.
He'd
Oh,
die
it's
happy
definitely.
and overdosed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's historical evidence that he definitely did do it during the late stages
Wasn't
of
that
World War
meth?
Two. Probably both. I mean, he did give his soldiers meth. Well, they baked it into their rations.
He
Fuck,
tried
was,
to make some
uh,
super soldiers using meth.
I mean, think about it. How can you like go on a blitzkrieg for 3 days non-stop? Like,
Yeah, that's gonna fuck your body. Like,
Yeah,
But
you need to lose those teeth to get that extra weight loss so you can push harder. The teeth are
yeah,
weighing you down.
true. Uh,
yeah. But going off like what Jonesy said about Churchill saying that that democracy is one of the worst forms of government. Like, I definitely think like also the governance of the people that the state is supposed to lord over is basically should be limited, very limited. Like as I said, it only should be there to represent its people and to do the will of the people, like that.
yeah.
And like the
What if
people are. Hmm?
what if the people will it to be totalitarian?
Oh, fuck.
Mm,
Then those are some fucked people, mate.
yeah.
what you call it?
But why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
But why would you want
Maybe
to go
we're
into
wrong.
the totalitarian regime?
The Germans actually did during the Weimar Republic
Yeah.
era after
Yeah.
World War One, because their whole society was built on like monarchical systems of like one ruler leadership for like
See,
centuries. That's how Germany was. When the Weimar Republic got in, fucking if people didn't like it, fucking people wanted to go back to the old system because they believed the Weimar Republic betrayed Germany. The stab in the back myth, the Treaty of Versailles stuff, like all that stuff. People believed that democracy was failing for Germany, so they wanted to go back into more authoritarian, like single leader
Yeah.
type ordeals.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely flaws of democracy, and we see that in places like Iraq. Like democracy only works when the country is a unified whole, and there aren't like people don't primarily identify with their region, and they want to prioritize their region over others. So we see that in places like Iraq, where like the fucking what are they called?
ISIS, K, whatever
that
they are.
that ethnicity in like Turkey and Iraq, Kurdistanis, they're like they face hardships because they're a minority, and people like don't give a shit about their issues because they don't have enough people to vote in what matters to them. So in that case, I do think that a constitutional monarchy would be better than democracy.
Well, what we are in now,
Well,
supposedly.
we're in a constitutional monarchy where the Queen is the head of state and has not a lot of power. But we're in
Very
democracy.
limited power.
Yeah, very, very limited. But she's not the head of government, which is the important thing. Fucking ScoMo is, yeah, he's way better.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Hey, at least he's not British.
yeah.
That's
The,
true.
the one thing I find out about democracy is like the basic. If you have two options and people are going to vote on it, the basic the basic requirement you need is 50.01% of the vote to actually have that pass through.
Yeah.
Like you need basically only half the people to pass to do something. I don't think that's entirely good. Is you got the other half of the people which are dissatisfied because their option didn't go through.
Yeah.
Like I definitely think any decision that goes through should have the approval of a 4-to-5 ratio.
Yeah.
So
4 to 5.
basically like 80%.
Jesus,
Yeah.
nothing will ever get done.
Yeah. I mean, look at two.
Yeah,
200.
because if everything is perfect in a perfect society, you need to basically have 80% of the population wanting to change it.
If I recall correctly, to amend the constitution, 2/3 of U.S. states need to vote.
We're
To
not in
amend
the
it.
US, are we?
No. So what happens there is progress is very stunted. So, you know,
I don't
when
see it as progress being stunted. I'd see it as as radical ideas being pushed through with a 50% chance. That's
what's wrong with being
like,
radical?
okay,
Radical, dude.
radical. Let's say a near total governance of the individual is radical. I already went on a spiel about that.
I mean, every totalitarian is radical. Not every radical is totalitarian. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Yes,
Like,
the anarchist, the complete dissolution of government.
yeah, like what?
That's based.
Yeah, very based. What extremist means is just very outside the Overton window. And so, how do we know our Overton window is the correct one? And for those who don't know, that's just the range of political ideas that is acceptable in a society. So, say it's like 1864 US, right? And so, would you still be going, oh, only half of people want to abolish slavery? We should get 80% before we do that. I mean, that's just a radical idea. Or would you be for just a simple majority in that context?
Well, with that, a civil war broke out.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of those solutions would work out anyway.
I mean, Civil War mainly broke out because the Confederates and the South, their whole economy was based on the economy of the free, cheap slave labor.
Yeah.
And all that. And going back to year 11 modern history, which I barely remember much,
Yeah.
but yeah.
There
And
was-
I just didn't find the American Civil War that interesting as a topic. But going back to, the
Best thing it did is kickstart the old West days. Let's
Yeah.
go, yeehaw.
Yeah. It was kind of silly of the South to put all their eggs in one basket like that. And they should have seen the writing on the wall in the early 1800s that slavery was going out of style.
Oh no, it's still in style, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some places.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, they totally could have kept slaves for a bit longer if they didn't secede. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, he was an abolitionist, but he wasn't planning on abolishing slavery over the whole Union.
He just wasn't going to allow them to get any more slaves.
Yeah. Well, but basically,
Well, just
when
breed
he
your
was elected,
slaves, mate. Don't buy any more.
the idea that abolition was inevitable was popular. So nah, we out, peace. Yeah. Do you guys think-
No, don't take my toys away from me. Wah wah.
Yeah.
Fucking Louis C.K. was on Jay Leno a while ago, and he's talking about hardships that black people face. He's like, if you see a black guy with grey hair, just remember that he remembers a time when he wasn't allowed to drink in certain water fountains and things. So just be mindful of all the hard things black people go through, and also remember that white people also have our problems too. I mean, when they took our slaves away, I mean that was really hard. That was not fun at all.
It's not
So
funny.
we're pretty much even,
we're pretty much even. You know,
Yeah.
they couldn't drink the same bubble. They couldn't drink like the same bubbler, and you know,
Yeah. I mean,
and we
it,
just
it
had our
really
slaves
fucked the
taken off us.
Confederates over when they abolished slavery. It just wasn't a fun time. Yeah. What do you guys think about the possibility that the US is heading to another civil war?
Bro, Pog,
It'd be interesting.
Pog. You know why?
It'd be
Let's see what
terrible.
happens.
Why?
You know why? Because I can buy all my Steam games really cheap now.
Yeah.
And just on like whole economic level for the US as being them and China as the two biggest economic powers in the world. If they
Yeah.
were to have a civil war, and also like to the extent of like the American Civil War, like they like split up into entirely different countries, like it would have a massive effect on the
Yeah.
global economy.
Totally.
Yeah, and then China would take over, which I am
Yeah.
very against. Yeah.
Unless it's the Republic of China. Let's go.
Yes.
Like the one
Sorry, I
without
mean West
the one.
Taiwan. I don't want them
Yeah.
to take over.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't believe that they're headed for another civil war. I mean, there are lots of differences
I don't
between
think so.
where we are now and where they were in 1865. Like, it's very like there were two main sides in 1865. You know, you had the South and you had the North. Whereas now, you know, Republicans are spread across the whole country, and then Democrats are scattered across in the cities. Right? It's not. Neither sides are very unified.
Well, they are becoming polarized.
Except the Republicans would win because they have more guns.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. They have more guns because they believe in the constitutional right to bear arms. Man, I want
Yeah.
my bear arms. Where are they?
Yeah.
I gotta hunt a bear for them. Like Jesus.
Just wear a tank top.
Got 'em. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be back.
So yeah. I mean, it kind of depends how it would start, who would win, and also one thing to remember is that, when a country that's enemies of another country sees them in a civil war, what they do is they fund, the side that's losing, so they're 50-50 and they stay in a state of war. So like what China would do would just be like, oh, the Republicans are winning, let's fund the Democrats. And so then the war just keeps going and going forever.
Yeah, but I don't think with the Democrats they're fairly liberal, and you know, like they're on the left side, and like my idea of a leftist is like a soy boy.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, Democrats aren't even
Like-
that left, globally speaking. They're more like centrist. Although to be fair,
oh, then what would you class as a right as a Republican?
they're right wing.
Like how right wing?
Center right probably.
Center right, okay. And you think that the Democrats are center?
Yeah. I mean,
Fair enough.
in the American Overton window, we see Democrats as left and Republicans as right.
Mm.
But globally speaking, Democrats aren't really that left. I mean, they're capitalist. You know, not even socialist most of the time. They're not that left. Is someone watching TV?
No, it's just my brother who's interrupted.
Oh, okay.
He's just being him, acting with a toy lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
Come on, buddy.
savage.
I need to be having a good old chat. Leave me alone. Okay, I guess
Absolute
not.
Savage.
I got new fucking earbuds or whatnot, so I don't know how these things really work. Because you know how last time I had my other ones just I couldn't really hear shit at all.
No problem.
You must follow me.
No, I won't. Leave me
You must
alone.
follow me.
Look, here's an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
Should the state offer services for the safe abandonment of infants?
Okay, so it's like, oh shit, I got pregnant. Okay, guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna kick this baby off to the state. Like,
I mean, this idea was mostly came to popularity when there was this girl who was pregnant and was very, very anxious about it. She was young, and she wasn't married, and so she kind of kept it a secret until one day, her water broke, and so she put up to a petrol station, gave birth in the bathroom, and then disposed of the baby in the bin. And so, a good point that a lot of people make is, if there was the option to just send the baby into the state and to be left up to adoption, it would still be alive.
Well, isn't that the
Mm.
case? Isn't that the case, generally?
What do you mean?
Okay, well, well, I don't know much of adoption centers down here in the in the Australia. I was about to say US, me
Yeah.
fucking American thinking brain. Like, you got movies and all that, just like, oh, we're putting him up for adoption. Like
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 fucking
they just
what was the movie where they bloody adopted a mouse over actual kids? The fucking rudeness.
Stuart Little.
Yeah. They go to adopt a kid and like, these kids fucking suck. Let's take the
Man,
mouse.
these kids suck. Oh my God, a fucking mouse. That's better than a child.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like they had to have one look at a mouse and it's like, I don't even have to like take it to school.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
Like I can just pick it up in one hand, just like, you stop being a bastard, you little shit, and you shake it
Yeah.
all around,
And it only lasts a few years, About
Yeah.
as much as an anti-vax kid. You
Mm.
got him.
Going good.
XD, kind of a 2018 meme, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Another question.
Yeah.
Should it be illegal to not attempt to save someone's life when it is easy to? So when you're in the context where someone is in grave danger and you could easily
what
save
is-
their life, should it be
what
illegal
is-
to not?
What is that? What is that context? Like, what is that grave danger? What is that situation?
Just found out that everyone I live with likes tomato, so I am very glad that I'm moving.
Yeah,
Mono's good though.
not a fan of tomato either.
Oh, what? Disappointed, boys.
And they also all like Vegemite.
Oh, I don't like
what the
Vegemite.
fuck? No, that shit
Mhm.
sucks.
People all just like it because it's like, oh yeah, it's Australian. You're not
God, I
Australian.
like
You
it
don't
'cause I'm
like fuck
Australian.
you.
Yeah, it's unpatriotic to have a good taste in food.
I think they've like convinced themselves that they like it when it's just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Man, I know real taste.
Hmm.
I know real taste. I'm a wog.
I
Let's
don't
go.
think you are.
You want to check down? You want to check my ethnicity?
Aren't you German?
Serbian as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's wog.
Get the fuck out.
You have
Get
to
the
be,
fuck out.
at
I'm not joking.
least-
Get the fuck out.
Let's go.
At least far Southern European to be a wog.
Well, Southern European. Oh, so you're talking about Greece?
Yeah, or like Sicily, maybe Southern
Italians.
Spain.
Man, like, I don't know about you guys, but my plates are full with flavor.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great to hear. Wasn't
man,
Yeah,
I
we
got-
can tell they're full of flavor because you keep going, while
Mm.
eating it.
Yes.
Yeah.
How's
Wasn't it weird
that?
how the company that owns Vegemite, Bigger Cheese, they tried to kind of expand outside of Australia, but they've kind of failed to market it that you only put a little bit on, and so everyone fucking hated it. So it just that's why it's only in Australia.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, wasn't Vegemite like before Bigger Cheese got it back? Like, wasn't it like owned? Wasn't it foreign owned?
I don't know.
No clue.
I think it was. Wait, I'm gonna use my second screen right here. Yes.
Whoa. You have a second monitor?
What was that?
You have a second monitor?
Yeah.
Damn, you're rich, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's kind of cool. We recorded this at like 7 to 8, so if you skim through the
Yeah.
video, it just slowly
10 to
gets
9.
Yeah. If you skip through the video, it just slowly gets darker in my camera. It's kind of cool, like a time lapse.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you guys think about the question? Should it be illegal to not save someone's life when it's easy?
No, it shouldn't.
Why?
What if you killed them for good reason?
Bro, I'm gonna stab you so I can save you,
Yeah.
so therefore it's not illegal.
Yeah.
No, like they
I don't
just
think every
like-
crime is punishment.
like stabbed a kid, and then you stab them back. But you can easily put pressure on the wound and save them. But also, they just stabbed a kid, so fuck him.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, that's not exactly justified though.
Oh, yep, there it is. Yep. Vegemite was owned by the U.S. food giant Mondelez International.
Well, you
How
know.
about that?
Yeah.
Fascinating. So yeah, from my perspective at least, it should be illegal. From the standpoint that it would save lives, right? I mean, he doesn't want to save some lives, you know.
Yeah. Well,
If
with
people feel obligated to help other people, isn't that good? You know, that's some good shit.
Yeah.
yeah, but like with my belief right now, I'm under no moral obligation to help you if you are dying.
Why not?
Okay. Well, yeah, it's it's just it's what it is.
But why?
It is what it is.
So, the way I understand your point
I'm
of view,
I'm under no moral obligation to help you. Under my beliefs of common law.
okay, you're talking about a moral belief. That's not a legal, a moral principle. That's not the legal
Yeah.
one.
But you're saying that under law I can be punished for not helping someone.
Should be, not can.
Yeah, but that's what you're proposing.
Yep.
So you're proposing that I can be punished for not helping someone.
When you helping them would save their life, then yes.
So you're basically okay. So you're saying it's law. If I do not help someone, I can basically be charged with a crime for not helping someone.
In the context where you not helping them would have them die, and you helping them would save their life, then yes.
What
Well,
if you're late to work?
Bro, I'm late to work. If I don't do it.
I'd call that a bad excuse. Yeah. So, would you rather?
What if you're late to work as your job
I'm
as
not
a
gonna be
surgeon?
forced. I don't want to be forced by law to do something.
Are you against laws?
No, I'm not against laws. I'm against law that obligates me to do something.
That's what
You
a
know,
law
to
is.
save someone life.
That's
Yeah,
literally
but
what a law is.
yeah, but a law is just like don't kill someone. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill someone anyway.
That's an example of what a law is. There are lots of laws.
Yes, that's an example of what a law is. A law is basically do not kill someone. I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna kill anyone anyway. Why would
A
I do
law
that?
is a penalty for doing something that the
Laws,
state considers wrong.
laws that interfere with the individuality of the person should, with the individuality of the person, basically obligating someone to do something.
That's what every
Basically,
law is.
no, it's not.
Every single law
How am I
is.
how am I obligated to not kill someone? I just do it because I don't want to kill someone.
Every law is preventing people from doing something, or at least discouraging it.
You're discouraging it. They're not. I'm not. It's like by law, I'm obligated to do this. Like
Discourage is
Like-
the wrong word.
you're basically saying the state wants you to do this,
Yeah, that's what
and
a
if
law
you
is.
do not do it, you will be punished.
Yeah, that's what laws are.
Yeah, it's like in legal disputes, like I'm obligated by law not to say this, like NDAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you're in my
That was an
place.
agreement. That's when I agreed to it. Like a non-disclosure agreement. It's like I agreed to that, so I can't do it. It's not just like I have no knowledge of this law until this law was brought into effect. And it's like, okay, the state says that you have to do this when someone's dying. Like, Like, I'm not gonna do it.
Why not?
Have something like, I don't know, maybe seatbelts or something. Like,
Yeah, we had this debate a couple episodes ago about seatbelts. So look, to
So
me at least,
you're
there is a decent argument to be made that not saving someone's life would fall under the term of negligent homicide. So say like, if you
am I
leave,
responsible for their life? Am I
if it's,
responsible for their life in a general sense?
that's a very complicated question.
No,
So
I'm not responsible for your life in a general sense. You are you, and me, and I am myself. I'm not responsible for your life. I'm
if
responsible
I'm
for the family around me because we're very close, but I'm not responsible for your life. So why should I get punished for you basically dying near me?
if someone is on the verge of death, right?
Yeah,
And
why would I
so
help them?
and person B is easily able to help them, and person A is totally about to die unless they get help, then I'd say person B is under moral obligation to help. And if they're
No,
not, then I
it's
call them
not
a
under
bad person.
moral obligation to help. It's under legal obligation to help. The law is
No,
saying that you have to do this, not moral.
no, no.
Your morals, your morals are, distinguishable. Like the same as law, but like your morals are made by you, not by a state,
Do you
not by an
think?
all-powerful state that says like you must do this, otherwise you get punished.
Do you think
Like
it's wrong to not save someone's life?
I'm under no obligation to do it because I'm not responsible for their actions or
But do
what
you,
happened to them.
but do you think it's wrong?
Think it's wrong for what?
If you see someone dying, and you know you could easily prevent their death, would it be immoral to not help them?
Oh yes. How can I easily prevent a death? Tell me.
Great.
How can I easily prevent a death? Let's say a bullet wound. How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Apply
I don't
pressure.
know. Apply
Blood pressure.
pressure,
What does it do? That doesn't.
CPR, chest compressions. Say
He's
is
alive. He's in
Literally
pain. Why would
just
I need
call
to do
the
CPR?
ambulance.
Just call the ambulance. That's all I have to do. I don't have to
Well,
go
that's
in there and get my
helping them.
hands bloody.
yeah. I'd call calling an ambulance saving someone's life.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
saving their life.
Well, look, because of your actions, their life is saved.
Yeah, doesn't mean I'm in. That doesn't mean I'm directly. All I do is like, oh my god, someone's dying. Like that's it.
And then you call for help, which saves their
And
life.
they'll probably give you instructions on how to keep them alive.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, but you're obligating someone by law to help someone else.
Correct.
I I believe in individualism and all that. Fuck, like hell. Like, why does the state, who you said should maximize happiness, basically say someone just you should help him, otherwise you get punished? Like,
I think obligating, forcing people to
yeah,
save other people's lives actually increases happiness.
oh, it's not in my case.
Not if I'm supposed to save my dickhead ex-boss. 'Cause
True.
he's a cunt.
Mhm.
Yeah. So say you have a family member, and they're off hiking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and that's my moral obligation because they are my family.
Just let me finish, please.
That's
So
not a good example.
just for a second.
Do a random person.
Yeah, just please let me
Try a
finish.
random person because
Yeah.
if it's someone of my family, you've already got an answer,
So please just
and
let me finish.
that's why you pick the scenario. Because of course I'm gonna fucking help my family. They're fucking
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, so just let me finish, please.
Yeah, so pick a random person off the street. I don't care about their life. I don't have a moral obligation for them or their fucking whatever they do in their life. They're just there.
Okay, Chris, please just let me talk for a second.
You pick someone from my family so you can get the answer that you want. You obviously know that the answer is going to be yes, I'm going to help them.
Look, you don't even know what
Pick
I'm going
someone
to
off
say
the street.
because as
Yeah,
soon as
you
I start
said
talking, you interrupt me.
you
So
said
you don't
no,
even know
you
the whole
said
thing I'm going to say.
you said Jonesy, you said so if someone in your family, of course you've already got the answer. I'm going to help my family.
You don't know what the end of that is because you interrupted me.
I already determined what the end of that was just by
Yeah.
saying that your family
Chris, please just
and I
for a
already
moment.
answered.
Just for a moment, please let me finish the whole couple sentences.
Then go then. Go.
Okay, thank you. So imagine you have a family member or a loved one who goes out in the wilderness, camping, whatever. All of a sudden, and say they have a medical condition where they, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, I'm trying to think of a good thought experiment. Imagine they're out camping alone in the wilderness, okay? All of a sudden, a tree starts to fall on top of them slowly. It's
How
like,
big is the tree?
it's massive. If it falls on them, they're dead.
I can't
instantly.
help them then.
So, and they don't notice it, right? And so, say someone, a stranger you don't know, sees this, and they could easily walk up to them. They could easily call out and say, "Hey, get out of the way," and then they move, and then they'd save their lives easily. But they don't because they don't care, and they're not obligated to.
Yeah, they're
In
not
that-
obligated to.
In that situation, would you still be against that law?
Yeah, I'll still be against that law.
Even though if it did
'Cause
exist,
that's-
you'd still have your loved one?
My loved one dies. It wasn't that passerby's obligation to save them.
So you value someone's small amount of freedom to not say, "Hey, watch out," over
Yes.
a life of someone.
Well, it also depends on the person. Will that person actually do it? Will they comply? Will they comply
I
to
don't
that
know.
law? Because I fucking won't.
I don't know, but when something is illegal, there's a higher probability that someone
Oh.
won't do it.
Yes, how's the law going to know if I'm on a hiking trip and someone dies and I don't help them? Like, how's the law going to know? Are they going to fucking surveillance every square kilometer of a forest or of suburbia?
There's
Of their
like
entire
questioning
country?
and like lie detector stuff.
Yeah.
They could always
Look,
ask.
Lie detectors are
interrogate in some sense.
garbage.
Yeah,
Lie
but it's
detectors
still
garbage.
something.
I'm gonna sweat either way. My heartbeat's gonna go up and down, and either way.
look.
On
you
this,
could-
Chris, I have to disagree with you. I'd have to go more towards Jonesy. Like yes, you're in no legal obligation to save someone, but like if it's a highly preventable death you can prevent and you don't do it, like at that point you kind of speak like a bad Samaritan. Like it's just kind of
You're
I
a
don't know.
cunt.
But they don't see it right with me.
Yeah.
Like
Chris-
I'm
But
not
the
just gonna
reason I
let.
don't think it should be made like a legal obligation is because if the person's just a major dickhead, it's like, no, I don't want to save their life. Fuck him. Why should I? They've been nothing but dicks to me. I think
by a major dickhead, like, how much of a major dickhead?
like what? Okay, what about this? They're a rapist.
Pardon?
Like, what if they're a rapist?
Like the person who dies?
Like, and like not legally because like no one's coming forward, but you know for a fact that they're a rapist, and you see that they're dying. Why should I save them so they can go on and living more days of raping people?
Well then, that is quite the situation. So, are you for the death penalty for rapists?
Fuck yeah.
I don't know. As based as it is to just be like, yeah, fuck them, like, and as much as I hate them, I don't know.
Interesting. Well, look, I'm a utilitarian, so
Oh my god.
if it's determined that killing that person, it would save so many people from being raped, that it actually outweighs the good of them dying, then I'd say, ethically speaking, there's nothing wrong with letting them die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gone against your own
Yeah.
law that you proposed.
Yeah, so that's my perspective from an ethics point of view, but legally, letting someone die, that would kind of be taking what's the word for when someone kind of takes the role of a police officer when they're not actually qualified? It's like vigilante.
Citizens arrest, I think.
Yeah, so you'd be kind of taking a vigilante role, which is quite harmful. So I'd say, in that context, it's the state's place to carry out that execution. Hypothetically, if I were pro death penalty, it's not the
Not an
responsibility of the
execution
people,
though. Like,
or just any
it's not an
prosecution.
execution. If you see someone flushing a shit down the toilet, you don't stop them, do ya?
I don't understand that analogy.
Okay, so life is the person, the shit is the rapist, and you are you, okay? You don't stop the person from flushing your shit down the toilet. Why should you stop this person from dying?
I believe that's such a bad analogy.
Fuck you.
That's a fascinating point of view. Oh, look. Okay, back to a few minutes ago, right? Chris, do you believe that the value of someone's freedom to not say, "Hey, get out of the way," truly outweighs the value of an innocent person's life?
Well, what determines them as innocent?
Just like
How do we know?
their actions.
Yeah, their actions. I have no knowledge of them.
We don't know,
Just
but
Why should I do it? And plus,
say poor granny's walking down the street and
they should
someone
hear
sleep
the
at
wood
will,
creaking and cracking as the tree falls on them. They're like, unless they're deaf.
yeah, maybe
Like-
they're hard of hearing. Okay.
It's not my problem. I don't have a. What's the words? I don't oversee them. I don't care for them. So why should I save their life?
Because their life has value.
Doesn't really cost much of you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, say you were the person under that
What
tree.
happens if they put themselves in that situation?
They
You know,
did.
and they wanted to die. You know?
So in this thought
And
experiment,
what happens if I save
It's not
someone who wants
suicide.
to die, and I cause him actually more negative emotion than positive emotion because he didn't die?
Well, if
Uh,
at first you don't succeed, try again.
That's so fucked up, dude. Well, look, over the course of the rest of their lives, they may actually experience more positive emotion, right? And they most of the time when potential suicide victims fail later in life, you know, maybe years or decades down the line, they'll actually be grateful because of the life they lived.
Or
So
if
I think
they came
it's good
close
to
to
prevent
killing
suicide.
themselves once, what's going to stop them from doing that thing again and actually succeeding?
They totally can, but it will lower the probability of them dying if you save them.
Oh yes, because one random person goes like, "Oh no, look out!" Like,
Yeah.
they're not under my duty of care. You know, they're not family members, so I don't care. Okay, co-workers, yes, I can save them because I work close with them. People that I do not know, I believe that I should not be forced to help them.
Mm-hmm. So, why does it make a difference if they're your family?
They're my fucking family. I grew up with them this entire time.
So
They're the
because
ones who've molded me into the one I am. And in a special case of my parents, they let me choose who I am.
So does someone being part of your family make them more valuable to society?
Well, they're valuable to me, not to society.
Yes. So why should you?
I don't know what you
service
don't
society?
get about this, Jonesy. I don't know them, so practically they are nothing. They
You
are no
really
importance.
believe that? A stranger has no value to you.
Well, I haven't seen their value yet, so they might as well be worth nothing.
But
That's psychopathic.
honestly,
You can
man,
say that.
what you're saying right now sounds a little bit on the psychopathic or sociopathic.
Oh my god, no,
spectrum.
psychopathic, sociopathic.
Look, you really do value a small amount of freedom to not say "watch out" over an innocent person's life. Like, am I wrong in thinking that?
You're framing it as a question that you make me look bad. An innocent person's life? Why don't you just say a random person's life, so that innocence is left up to
Okay.
chance?
In this thought experiment, it is an innocent person.
Well, I don't like how you're framing it to make me look bad.
Look,
It's
I
the
didn't
same
make
thing
you
as
look
it's the
bad.
same thing as a
The
racist.
chances are
that
they
racist
are
is.
innocent, though.
You
Yeah,
can
the
make
chances are.
you
But I don't know
decide
that. I don't
Majority
know
of
whether
that.
people-
you, Chris, you decide whether you look bad or you look good because you have control over your words.
Yeah.
If you want
Is
to
that
look
free
good,
will or deterministic?
it's determined in my perspective. So
No, it's not. It's free will.
I said in my perspective.
Yeah, my perspective is free will.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think. I would be really curious to think if anyone agrees with Chris. Do we
I
want to?
personally don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we-
fucking hell.
Do we want to have any other question or two, or should we end here?
What's
I
the
think
next
one more
question?
question, then I need to have dinner, eh?
Fair enough.
I just had some pretty good dinner, and I
Yeah.
think you'll find that I didn't moan all
Yeah,
the time.
how about-
Eating it.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to call
Look-
it quits at 9:30? Gives us 20 minutes. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. 2.5
Look-
hour podcast. I think that's decent.
Yeah. So this will be the final question with Jeremy. How about that?
Ah,
We
How's
better
that?
make it nice
Yeah,
and
but it's
special.
so sad that I'm
It's so
leaving
sad.
these toxic fans.
Fuck the fans, bro.
You did this, by the way.
If
The
you're watching,
community
it's your
is-
fault.
I've gone and gotten myself addicted to heroin because of you.
if I
Mother.
Just to
find
cope
Jezza
with
in
the pain.
Canberra and he's a fucking crackhead, we know why.
Fair enough. Bloody hell. Are we all epic fedora tipping atheists here?
Sorry?
That's a good question.
Talk
I
to me.
am.
Yeah.
I even have a fedora. I don't know where I got it from, but I have a fedora in my van now.
That's unacceptable.
First of all, can you define atheist?
Someone who has a lack of belief in a god or gods.
Okay, well, will spiritual entities count?
What do you mean by spiritual entity?
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be God or gods. I've seen like the ancestors, for example. The spirit, the spirit people, if you want to go that way. The souls of the souls of the long forgotten. The animal spirits. They're not necessarily gods. They're just things that either went either long gone or just things that resemble nature and stuff like that.
I'm not really following what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, this one is going to be controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Is toxic masculinity real?
If there's toxic
Oh.
masculinity, then there has to be
Living in
toxic
on this
femininity.
question. Ooh.
What do you guys think?
Is it real?
I say there's dickheads.
Yeah.
Is like
Ah,
it's
mass
like
dickhead.
Yeah.
What's
look,
the dickhead?
First, what we should do is define it, right?
people who try and prove their masculinity by doing like stupid things.
Yeah. So
Yeah, just to prove
Toxic-
that they're strong men.
yeah. So toxic masculinity is a term in academia, which refers to toxic behavior that is caused by masculinity. So
Okay,
it
so
doesn't.
how-
it
so
doesn't
how's-
claim. It doesn't claim that masculinity is toxic. It claims that there are parts of it that are toxic.
Okay.
Wait,
it doesn't
okay,
that exist.
here's the question.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's not really a question, but it's an interesting thing.
Hmm.
That like technically women can be guilty of toxic masculinity.
No, it's toxic femininity. Femininity.
No, because if women are like doing toxic things to seem more masculine, to prove that they're not like other girls or some shit like that, then you got a woman like being a fucking case of toxic masculinity.
That's an interesting thought.
So it's not just people who are drinking craft beers and shit like that in the fucking man cave. Nah. Actually, well, yeah, it could be a woman with drinking craft
Yeah.
beer in the UK as well.
And vice
Which it
versa.
probably
You know,
is.
there's
Yeah.
toxic femininity.
Yeah, there definitely
Yeah.
is.
Like you could get some guy who's like, no, I'm not like, I'm not masculine at all. I'm I'm a little bitch. Pay for my shit.
Yeah.
Probably something sexist I said there, almost certainly. Yeah,
No,
definitely. Now thinking about it.
Yeah, I think you've probably in every episode you've said something sexist, but look,
Yeah,
that's part of
um,
the Sigma male mindset.
Exactly.
one of the things I kind of see among like modern feminists is like they kind of want to change the gender roles for women, but when it comes to man, they want the gender roles to keep the same to stay the same.
You
So
think
like
so?
how can you? Yeah, like I actually say that like women are going around. It's not bad that they're going around and getting a job and all that. Just like you know, it's not bad that they're going around doing that. Just like they're going around doing that, and like when they start claiming that the glass ceiling or whatever that they're going off about, the gender pay gap, like oh my god, like it's a multivariate equation. What like Jordan Peterson said.
Couldn't go the rest of the podcast. Wow.
I could no, I couldn't. I just had to. I'm addicted to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I can tell.
God damn it.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I had a Jordan Peterson phase a couple years ago, so
Same.
Yeah, but like
I'll admit.
like if and like they can do that. They can do all that, and like if they want to go back and have their have their thing, and they claim about them not
Oh.
being free because they're like they're not they don't have enough money because of the man. Well, the man generally works more. He doesn't get paid more. It's actually found in the BBC from what Jordan Peterson said at like
Bloody hell.
over in the UK that the females actually got paid 4% more
Really?
than the men. I don't know how true that statement is, but like, hey,
I don't either.
Then why did you say it?
Yeah.
well, because I think I heard Jordan Peterson say it once. But hey,
Which
Yeah.
means it must be true.
The
it
ultimate,
must be true.
the
Jordan
ultimate
Peterson
source.
said.
The second rule, next to if it's written down, it must be true. The next one is if Jordan Peterson said it, it must be true.
And also, if it's under a Chadwell Jack, then it's true. And if it's under a Soy Jack, then it's false. That's facts.
That's facts. But like,
And if it's said by me, then it's true.
That's facts, bro. So, are we all on the same page with this?
yeah, where were we at?
Toxic masculinity.
Um,
real?
it exists and is also toxic femininity. Femininity. There we go.
So that would be like a
You
woman.
can't have one without the other.
Yeah, I'm not. You hypothetically could, I suppose. But say like
How can you hypothetically have it?
I mean, maybe in a hypothetical other universe.
Oh,
there's-
yes.
There are no negative.
Hypothetically
parts of-
speaking.
Yeah. There are no negative side effects, negative parts of being feminine.
So then, hypothetically, you're also saying that there can also be a hypothetical universe, where there's no parts of masculinity that's toxic.
Yep.
Okay, because you only focused on the feminine bit right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where were we at again?
We were just discussing if toxic masculinity is real. So
already
I
said my
think
part,
I think we're at an agreement here. So this is quite the achievement
Well, what's the agreement?
that it is real, and there's also toxic femininity.
Yes.
Well, how about that? Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, the final episode with Jeremy. Let's get a round of applause for this man.
I don't accept applause from
If
those
I could clap
who
my mic, I
accept
can't
the
pick it up.
fan base that we have.
Wait, that's probably really awkward because I have no suppression, so it's just totally silent.
I heard it. I heard it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
I have
Wait,
no
do you hear it
suppression.
if I do it?
I can't hear
Nope.
Done?
it. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Yeah, that's it.
How about that? Well, guys, smash like or I'll smash you. Smash
Yeah.
sub or I'll smash your mom.
Yeah, like how are you gonna smash?
You or your mom? Because I do
Like-
those in 2 different ways. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see ya.
Yes.
Toodaloo.